How's it going, everybody? This is a video I've been trying to make for a while now, but I've been running out of time. We want to test out Daemon, and particularly the Brimstone characters, in the Professor X saga. We want to see if they are a viable option, because as the new bee's knees in war, they are the current best war team. They are the Battle World team as well. We would love to be able to pivot away from the Liberty team and lean into the Brimstone characters. Now, I do not have Hellcat unlocked yet, and I do have a giant Daemon. My Daemon is at 6 red stars. Now, if the whole idea is to stay away from Liberty, then who would we want to bring in instead? I'm going to assume Elsa Bloodstone is like a super luxury for players. I'm going to grab Emma X, is an amazing character everywhere. Let's go ahead and grab her. You know what? Let's grab Living Mummy, even though he's only at 3 stars. I think he's a character that people would want to bring. He's a super tank, which is very interesting. Who else would people want to bring in? You cannot bring these two characters in. I think people would want to bring Jean Grey in. I think Jean Grey would be a mistake here, though. Yeah, I do think Jean Grey would be a mistake here. I kind of can see how this is going to go already, if I'm being honest with you. I can kind of see how this is going to go already. We'll do it anyway, but I can kind of see where this is going to be a mistake. All right, I'm going to, at the very least, bring Falcon Joaquin, though. Because besides just the Shadow King, though, there's also the Node 3 with Old Man Logan on it. If you can't get through that, you can't get through anything, right? You got to be able to 3-star that. So, we don't have Hellcat. We can't use Dr. Strange Heartless here. I'm subbing out Elsa, assuming she is a high luxury. These 4 characters make a whole lot of sense. As far as the 5th goes, I think most people would want it to be Jean Grey. They would want it to be Jean Grey here, but I already know how this is going to go horribly wrong. We have so many controllers, and Daemon controls controllers with his opening turn, ability block, and trauma, and disrupt. That's a problem, because if you are unaware how this boss works, because assuming it's going to be newer players, or at least up and coming players that are going to be looking for different solutions to this particular boss fight, Shadow King clones your characters, and he gives them 100% turn bar. So the clones come in, and they are always going to go first. Now, it's actually RNG on which order the characters go, but they do go first. And I do believe Emma, Daemon, and even Jean Grey might all be controllers here. So when this guy ults, that's not good. 3 out of our 5 characters literally can only use their opening abilities here. That's not good at all. The 3-star Mummy's actually taking these hits really well, considering he has the defense down and all that kind of stuff. The cleanse will do absolutely nothing. It only heals Liberty allies. Wow, it does literally nothing. This also does literally nothing. Okay, so the fact that you kind of still need to bring Falcon for Node 3 is not super fun. Daemon seems like he'd be the biggest threat with all of his damage, but I mean, all these characters are pretty threatening now. We have to use basics until we can get this ability block off. Okay. Some decent damage there. Uh-oh. He's got a revive at least. Notice the Mummy didn't get a revive here. Maybe because it's a summon, I guess, right? Does this heal me? Defense up in Safeguard to all Brimstone allies. Heal self and Brimstone by 20%. Only if he has revive once. It heals for 20. Okay, well. Alright, let's give ourselves some buffs here, I guess. Alright, Daemon is looking not great. Oh, no. We're getting lapped on lapped on lapped. Oh, this is going to hurt. And remember, any kind of kills Daemon gets, it starts fueling his speed bar. That's an ult, and we're dead. Yep, that's an ult, and we're dead. Okay. I hate how they need to revisit this, okay? I don't know if anyone over there is watching. You gotta nerf this fight. This fight needs to be changed so people don't always have to lean into Liberty-style characters. There are other characters that work these days. I have heard Secret Warriors works, but that's such a niche team. You might as well build Liberty if you're going to build up Secret Warriors for this, right? It is such a niche team, and they both kind of do really interesting things on war, but that's it, right? They need to rework this so the Shadow King clones spawn with 0% turn bar. Have Shadow King spawn in with 100% turn bar. His first action is to clone everybody, and then everybody's at 0% turn bar so that you can entertain mirror matches. Because as it stands, if you bring a Daemon, their Daemon goes first. You get ability block trauma, unless you can find a way to get immunity on yourself. I don't think... No, they don't. The Brimstone team does not get immunity on spawn, even if they have Hellcat and Elsa here. So they're not going to be the solution to this, in my opinion. So I don't think the Brimstone team is super viable. I imagine if I just brought the Liberty team, I'd be able to just kind of muscle through this. It might take a couple resets, but I'd probably be able to bring Daemon here because the Liberty team will just do all the work, right? They are so uniquely poised to run this fight because as soon as an enemy takes a turn, they get themselves immunity, but they don't give their allies immunity, and that becomes a problem. The same thing is true for the Secret Warriors. I believe they spawn with immunity because of Quake, but you need to bring in the 4 members. So maybe that they could also run their own kind of system here, carrying a Daemon. But if you don't have, like my Daemon's big. My Daemon is 6 stars. If you don't have him that big and you get one shot or you get taken quickly, that would just fuel the enemy Daemon, and it wouldn't matter. Once you're dead, right? And you have to 3-star these nodes. All right, so not looking too hot for us right now. That's 6-star Daemon, don't forget. Again, not looking good, and he's dead. All right, well, that's super unfortunate, right? And that does stem from them getting 100% turn bar on the clones. Super unfortunate. We don't even have to look at that node 3, the Old Man Logan node. We don't have to worry about how we can get Daemon to work there because it just doesn't look that great. It just doesn't look that great. All right, let me know how you feel about the Brimstone team not really being Professor X viable. This is sort of the worry that we see when we see combat mods or we see nodes in an event like a Professor X that are designed for certain teams. If this was a Dark Dimension style combat, this would be a non-factor because we could just slowly whittle it down. Not the case here, right? You have to 3-star this. So nope, no Brimstone here, but I did hear that on my initial playtest at the Sentry boss fight, something was missing from the Brimstone team that they just added, and will be added on the live server as well. So we're going to go right now to the playtest. We're going to revisit the Brimstone team facing off against Sentry. Let's go check it out. All right, so here we are on the playtest, and we're going to be revisiting the Sentry fight. Apparently, there was a combat mod missing that is going to make the Brimstone team perform just astronomically better than what I showed in my Battle World video, because they did really poorly in my Battle World video. In my Battle World video, they did 80 million damage, whereas Astro did 200 million damage. Obviously, that shouldn't be the case if Brimstone is going to be this Battle World team. So let's go ahead and check the combat mods and see what was done here. Boss immunities, hi Bob. Oh, here it is, Corrupted Mind. Sentry loses 2% of his max health whenever he attacks a Brimstone enemy. Okay. The maximum amount of damage a boss can take still applies. Okay, so it's still 4 million whenever he hits one of you. If Sentry spawns against 5 Brimstone enemies, the maximum amount of health he can lose during his turn, any turn, is increased by 3 times. So basically, it's breaking the damage cap to go from 4 million to 12 million, I guess. And instead of taking that damage cap when you hit him, he'll take it when he hits you. God, it's going to make them really good. It's obviously it's going to make them do at least 3 times what they were doing, probably 6 times what they were doing, right? So if they were doing 80,000, they probably can maybe do about 500,000 now, simply because they're taking 3 times the amount of damage on both sides. I guess it depends how hard your Brimstone team is hitting them. If you're actually hitting that 12 million cap across the board, that's what the damage cap should be always for all characters. This is so lazy. This is so lazy. But yes, it will have the effect of the Brimstone team being much, much better. So let's go ahead and jump in there. And honestly, okay, how do I think about this? I only have red stars. I don't have diamonds. Should I just make them all fortifiers or healers? And that way, we're just kind of surviving Sentry. And every time he hits me, he's going to take 12 million damage. Is that the play? Let's try it. All right, we're only gonna do this one time because I see what it is, right? And I'm sure you guys see what it is too. Yes, this is gonna make the team infinitely better. Does it make it more interesting? Well, we'll see, I guess. All right, let's let it rip. Let's let it rip. I don't know if Doctor Strange is a tank. Yes, maybe I should have put Hellcat beside Living Mummy. Maybe we just figured whoever's the tankiest and go from there. All right, here we go. Does this hit for... How hard does this hit? That hit pretty hard. It was not 12 million, but it hit pretty hard. Was that 11 million I just saw? I'm not even sure. So he hits me. I didn't see it if he got hit that hard. Let's see. That was 5 million there. That was 10 million. So literally all I want to do is just have my team survive as much as possible. All right, let's just go ahead and autoplay this. I just want to make sure I have as many buffs as possible. I don't think this is going to be a timeout issue whatsoever. It's just going to be a how long can I live while he just takes damage. So he just attacked me, and there's the 12 million hit. All you want to do is have your Brimstone team be as tanky as possible. I guess optimally, you'd also prefer it to the summons not take a turn. So the balance will be make your team big and make sure you have AoE abilities up for when these guys drop in. Or at least try to. Alright, Safeguard protected us from that. I can see it's already better. We've already beat 80 million because every time he attacks me, he loses that much. But again, they don't survive one combo from him. There's your 12 million from Doctor Strange. There's your 12 million. Didn't do any damage on the follow-up hit, but he did get enough speed bar. Alright, there's my dead team, right? So Living Mummy is going to be an absolute Giga Chad MVP here. Alright, let's see. 80 million is what I did last time on autoplay. What do we do here? 226. We could have done much better. If we had diamonds on them, all of a sudden I think you're going to see that number jump up to like 350,000 or so. Is it an elegant way to make sure the team can perform better than Astral? I wouldn't say so. It's definitely a way to make it happen. I really wish if they were going to lean into that, they would at least allow... let's grab a Mephisto here. They would at least allow one plug-and-play character. Because if they allowed at least one plug-and-play character, you could maybe bring in a character that would help fortify the Brimstone team, and that could be the strategy that you're going over. Yes. In short, my video was wrong because the Brimstone team is going to be better than the other teams against the Sentry boss fight. I stand by it being trash. It's just not a fun way to do it. See, now we're only doing 4 million damage. 12 million is a high enough number that every character doesn't hit that on every single one of their attacks. I think the damage cap should have been 12 million to be for everybody. If not 15 million, if not 20 million, right? And you find a way to work off the max health stuff. But let's see here. The last time I did this, I did it with Moondragon. We ended up throwing 200 million, so just shy of what we just did with Brimstone. I'm wondering if with Null and the reflexive death proofs he gives out, if this is going to be even better. Null, Mephisto. Cool music though. If you consider ear-splitting music cool. All right, there we go. Probably should have hid Mephisto in a corner. Boom! Yeah. Hit him for that 4 million with your ultimate. Oh, Shadow King lost his buffs. Bam. All right. What I'm noticing is the Astral team just like naturally has better timed AoEs than the Brimstone team does to remove the minions or the summons, whatever you want to call them, before they get a turn. That's very interesting. And I don't know if the spawns of the summons are RNG or not, but they summon in really horrible directions. Hey, look, the ISO attack does absolutely 0 damage. Have fun. Doctor Strange should have ulted there to give my guys death proof, so we're not playing optimally here either. Yeah, death proof would have went a long way there. If I see Doctor Strange is about to take a turn, I'm probably going to take it off auto and make him do his ultimate. Doctor Strange is so far, and because every time we hit him, he gains speed bar, this is going to go bad. Can I get safeguard up with the ancient one? That would help. Is that ultimate or special that gives a safeguard? The mirror broke. The game is still working, but the mirror broke. Hold on. All right, there's our screeching music back. Which gives the safeguard? Battle World, War, and Speed Up. Ultimate gives safeguard. All right, let's do the ultimate. Cool, cool. Sentry does look like he's going before Doctor Strange. I guess not. Let's get rid of some of you nerds. Ouchie. Alright, Strange, get those death proofs out there. We'll go back on auto now. Those death proofs were fucking awesome, man. They did great. Alright. Well, let's see what kind of damage was done here. Should have known better than to try and think on a Battle World boss fight. What I do like that there's no barrier here, so we do get to get a couple extra licks in here at the end, and they're not just completely devoid of impact. Let's go, Ancient One. You can do it. You got this. Rip his lips off. Get him. You're the best. Uh-oh. Well, not everyone should survive meteors falling on their heads, I guess, right? Got less than what I got last time using the full team. It's kind of interesting. So, I mean, you can see the big difference here, right? So the Astral team played for 4.5 minutes. The Brimstone team played for 35 seconds or something like that. And it's just through the gimmick of getting hit and taking damage. So you just want your Brimstone team to be super big so they take more hits. But you need all 5 members to actually activate that. Take that for what you will. Let me know what you feel about that in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the Professor X saga. Do you agree with me? Even if you are somebody that already has Professor X unlocked, do you think that they should make it better for new players coming up? There's a couple of you that are going to say, no, people should suffer like I did. And to you, I say, like, get a Snickers, bro.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.